know what you're thinking. I found this video on the internet and I'm using it. But you're wrong. I am actually at the beach, recording our Sunday school lesson. I know, it's so silly. Welcome to our story where Jesus has control of the wind and the waves, and he says, "Peace, be still."
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Hope Church Sunday School. I'm so glad that you've joined us. I bet you're wondering why I look so different and why you hear that noise behind me. I'm at the Atlantic Ocean at Folly Beach. The reason why we're having today's lesson from here is because we're studying a time where there was some men on the water, maybe similar to out there, and they were afraid. Now I know what you're thinking. Afraid? Yeah, even grown men get afraid. You see how that wave just moved me? It was pretty scary. Well, these men were terrified. The waves that are moving me, you can see them a little better. The waves that are moving me are little compared to what was happening to these men. And they were in a boat way, way out there. They were terrified. But what they didn't realize was Jesus has control of the wind and the waves. Let's have a little science lesson before we move to our lesson.
So, you notice how the waves are getting all foamy right about there as they come? That's called a breaker. And you see, as the camera is moving, because the waves are moving me. They have energy behind them. Some of the energy is from all of the movement out in the deep ocean, but a big majority of that energy is from the wind. So if today is a windy day, the waves are going to be high and they're going to come really hard at the beach and try and knock me over. If it's not very windy at all, then the ocean's going to be very calm and still and peaceful. Well, today's lesson involves not very still water. It was very windy and very waves. There were so many waves everywhere. Let's learn about Jesus controlling the wind and the waves.
Jesus had been teaching parables to the people, and he told his disciples, "Let's get in the boat and go to the other side." Well, while they were on the sea, a terrible storm came up, and the disciples were terrified. The waves were so high, they all were coming into the boat, and they thought that the boat was going to break apart. It was so bad. Jesus was sleeping the entire time. The disciples woke him up and said, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up and he looked out at the wind and the waves, and he talked to them, and he said, "Peace, be still." Then the wind stopped, and then the storm was gone, and the waves were calm. And the disciples talked to each other, and they were like, "Wow, who is this that even the wind and the waves obey him?" I think about that, and I think about what's going on in the world around us, and school starting again, and everything that's happening. It makes me very, very at peace, because I know that the God who controls the wind and the waves is in control of my life and in control of everything around me. I pray that the water, when you see it, or when you see a boat, you will be reminded that God is taking care of you, and that if he is the God that calms the wind and the sea, then he can do anything in your life. Take a few seconds, and as you see the waves coming in, I want you to breathe in deeply and then breathe out slowly. And do that just a few times. It always helps me to be calm. After my quick video, you can go and watch the origami video so you can make your own boat to retell a story.
Alright, I made my boat out of aluminum foil, but you could probably make it out of paper and put some paper on the bottom of it and it'd be okay too. And I decided to use the kitchen sink because why waste water? So, my boat nice and floats, but as we know, that's not how our story was. They started off nice, but then it got all stormy and there was waves and water going everywhere. Oh man, that boat got some water in it. Well, I can dump my water out, but that's not what they could do there. How neat is it that Jesus woke up and showed the disciples that he was in complete control because he calmed the storm. Now, I hope you have fun with your boat, maybe in the bathtub, or outside in a puddle if it rains, or maybe in the sink as long as Mom's okay with that. All right, have fun.
If you go to freebibleimages.org, you can see the images that we used for today's lesson, as well as lots of more lessons so you can retell Bible stories. Talk with your parents about things that make you feel like there's a storm going on inside of you. And how do you calm yourself down when you get upset?